banjarengar padma sadarga ahom 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 banjarengar padma sadarga ahum banjarengara padma sadardo 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 Ahum Banjarengar Padma Sadarga Ahom 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 Banjarengara 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 Padma Sadarga ahum banjarengara padma sadardo 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 ahum banjarengara padma sadarga 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 ahum banjarengara padma sadardo 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 ahum banjarengara padma sadardo
Sambara Sambara Bhamana Sara Mahazambaba Hum Palasoha Oma Sambara Sambara Bhaman Sara Mahazambaba Hum Palasoha Oma Sambara Sambara Bhaman Sara Mahazambaba Hum Palasoha Om Namchada Namta Ramjana Nancha Pavjashim Shobji Jana Bjibaya Sanjim Chuta Gimdanam Bhagabzo Ganlab Shagam Salab Dabjab Jashi Shob Mi Gerbo Saftanan Tunjavargon Shamba Janwala Gitra Wala Damba Ganla Gomba Jachira Jagapa Janan Hamburu Taram Bhagasarja Wala Dana Simchanan Hamja Largon Jagaba Wala Yatsamam Zaraba Zaraba Jagwala Dim Sansaman Dubim Jashi Wala Pilava Devara Shagab Jalab Shagam Saladon Janwala Jan Wardana Durjin Zunam Sherez Wang Gombo Shamba Wala Saye Nyambo Japanam Beresada Namkin Nyambo Pagam Chagakandab Zan Pala Durji Parkara Shandam Norva Dava Radata Nyamayev Shagam Sanan Laganam Tashi Wala Dim Job Shanchiv Senhua Jalab Shagam Salador and Chinedim Job Jashi Sergey Nyandom Jong Wamza Yadon Kamala Nyanta Don Don Panso Walavi Manava Jalamson Wam Jerum Corridor State and Chinatam Yarjib Sham Sanam Janam Shote Jarawan Jaja Jib Jadama Garsono Jambi Walabi of Jashil Hamo Jalab Sham Salado Samba Chimbo Tim John Til Milava Mirton Dandan Yadbo Yelm Corridor Pagati Boda Lawam of Zanam Tujid Harzim Corlo Dan Jashala Dam Donton Durji Janam Bawan Churton Jerum Sanam Zanan Sasaman is Gela Jashi Bill Jitan Joa Yalab Sham Salalo Dacha Tam Darab Shawa Sumbala Gatani Seva Kanajanim Dotana Walimpina Samtuna Yepjan Trajim de la Bansam So Barasho Janakanda Hami Yobjalan Sugar Rul mo jin chang jala zin ab sa so jib ji jala mun lam le jamba kanam zan chur batan jin zi jara jin namo rana daya namo banga kwatim bandar sara tamradana tatangata arahate samnya sabda Taleta banzir maha bandar maha tenza bandar maha bayam bandar maha buddha sata bandar maha buddha mandu pasantan manam bandar sarva karma waran bishuddana bandar soana murana jaya namo bhagavatim bandar sarata mradana tathangataya arahati samyak sabdaya taleta banzir maha bandar maha tenza bandar maha bayam bandar maha buddha sata bandar maha buddha mandu pasantan manam bandar sarva karma waran Vishuddhana bandar soana murana jaya namo bhagavatim bandar sarata mradana tathangataya arahati samyak sabdaya taleta banzir maha bandar maha tenza bandar maha bayam bandar buddha sata bandar maha buddha mandu pasantan manam bandar sarva karma waran Vishuddhana banzir soha malisim janankananj gom chirajya Dalade hom jim zadam jum zadal ha ngonam malim jam janam jenan jarab jamadanam gur jim nim dar shazay zolay datam dolam dim zim shir Nyala jim zam charam thayina jidam chulam babdab jidam ba Te chadam chamadanam shizay zolam Bhagabam jakholam janara jirbala sham zalalo Janyala satagam shagabji jitina nadi sama shagabamaya sangegan Dagi mali te tagatam jalala Lidang agayala tawib shagabji o Zambu shurpa mulam dubdagi Jarava tham jalayala jim gonsamda Shankar dalanyala lera baptalapayi Jarava ganla rabdab shamsalalo Durachi dana dalanyala sarje nama sarje Tije wina bjipataga Tetara chuje yanama maliba Tham jala jarava taki kambaramo Tetagam ngapa mazal jamsu nama yanchi Laga jamsu jakananje Jarava kanje yondan rabjuraja Devarab shagpa tamjala dakib tod Metoga damba tawa damba ta Salanyana namdang shiba dim choda Marmim choda abdipu dambai Jarava tetagalanam shuprivya Nabza damba namdang jam choda Shima paramara rabam nyambadang Japaran pagpam shokanaji Jarava tetagalanam chuparajya Cholpaganam ablamila jachewa Teta Jarava tamjalalayamo Zambov shola talputub tagagi Jarava kanlab shamsalam chuparajya Dochaga jerdantami wangina Litang yagtang divjan yichija Dipab dakib jipam chanchipa Teta tamjaladaki sosurabsha Shoji Jarava kanda sarje che Ranjir namdang lobdang malhobdang Doi ganjim so namagalayan Deta ganje jisab dayarang Kanam shokjim jitin durmanam shang shivirim barasanji machavni Gombo te tabdaki tamchalalam Kolob lana me pa korvarafkad Nyanganan tatuna kamshala te dala Do akalla pamshang devavshir Kalapa shangadal nyalabji parayam Dagim dalmorab jirab survarabja Shagam salavatam churcham shagbatam jisayir Kalajang survaye Gewa chong salavdaki chasagaba Tam chalavdaki vshanchib shirab ngoy Shagab janab jipa sanji chum dandi tam chalat Sachala nipa shanchib zenwa chimbunam Lama durjin zamba chimbunam Daglar gonsa zolo Shanchib nyampurum chi jevara sanji namla chab sanchib Chudam Shanchib nyampurum chi jevara sanji namla chab sanchib Chudam shanchib senhwaya sola antiv jana chab sanchib Shanchib nyampurum chi jevara sanji namla chab sanchib Chudam shanchib senhwaya sola antiv jana chab sanchib tar un jir de jir shan chi ti na tel pa da shan chi sen hui la pa la te ta ram jna ni pa tar Dev jana dola pan don da shan chi sen na te ja Dev jana da na bla pa la aram ba jan da bla par je Chatarangon jir de jir shan chi ti na tel pa da shan chi sen hui la pa la te ta ram jna ni pa tar Dev jana dola pan don da shan chi sen na te ja Dev jana da na bla pa la aram ba jan da bla par je Chatarangon jir de jir shan chi ti na tel pa da shan chi sen hui la pa la te ta ram jna ni pa tar Dev jana dola pan don da shan chi sen na te ja Dev jana da na bla pa la ram ba jan da bla par je Dandi Daksim Div Yud May Tel Pala Parathob Terang Sarji Researchi Sanjay Tesa Takerato Tanab the kitchen Jari Tan Thambali Samadem Jumeram Sambarim Dala Nyoparam and Jarate Tarasha Loiv Shatar Pompoli Chatar and Chinanyar Batar Tives and Jaji Tartini Shanchivasim Nav Dalashi Lucky Deram Chulapat Hamjarajev Shangaram Roab Deshanyaradana De London the woods and a jail, la down lemon la swagaveraji. Shanchivasim Choram Bochi, Marchi, Panamachi, Jirajir, Panian by me Parayan, Gone, Content Heverisho. Shanchivasim Dam and Derjam, Shanchivishal Lab Jorvata. Sarji Namchi, Yomzam Jam, the Jilin my father. Shanchivasim one and Jino, and Rutan and Tila Gondravisho, Gumbo in a Gargomba, Simpson and Namla, Timjurisho. Simpson and Tamjil of Data, Danjiraji, and do Tamjil Tata, Tomverisho. Shanchivasim Waganta, Sergiba. Teta Ganji, Molam Preparation, Oma Honja, Ditchin and Barwa, Wanga, Botanta, Piton Susur to Baishirka, Majadip and Bamiram Jani, Durgenia Mana, Chimbukan, Shurkana, Dai, Dujijum, Jitan Wamji, Jijazi, Kamajerbo, Kundinga, Wamjer, and Drazano, once in Hereka, Sama Yeshi, Bandravara, Dim Chondor Bujerbo, the Chintir, Manager game, Tori Shitaman, sometimes of the Wamshi, they don't. Wamzara Durji Wandaki so Nantom Yamba Chimbo Angelata Durji Kai Garjita Sanayo Gamara Sangam Jeti Kamsung Wazara Marbon Konde on like Chabataji Tomjaya Shan the Peripshin Durji Chaba Chimbo Titina and Ningo Drum Kim Chotoloja Durji Chaba Chimbo not to the Deva Chimburdum Shilapa Tai Jim de the Tavaro Karajan and the Jagon of Shiva Jim Ship Ramjam Sasamawangal Hatsola and Gibizo and the Subshinjilo Chotanango Drum Durgi Wata Tomele want the Shelpano Trevazolo Ma Honsh, the Chinabara Wanga Bobjanta, the Tonzo to pay Shirka, Macha Devdan Bamiram Jane, Durgenia Mana, Chimbo, Churkana one day, Durjijum, Jitan Wamshi, Jijazi, Palmajerbo, Kundinga Wanger, and Trazana once in the Herega, Sama Yeshim Bandravara, then John Dorpajerbo, the Chentir, Manager game, Tori Jetaman, sometimes of the Wamshi, the Tonker, Wam the Durji Wandaki, so Nantom Yamba Chimbunga Yelata, Durji Kai, Garchita Samayo, Gamalazanga Jetting comes some Ozara Marpon Kundi, on like Havertaji, Tamchalayo, the Perishil, Durji Chaba Chimbutina, Naming Drum Durkim Chotoloja, Durji Chaba Chimbui, not to the Deva Chimbrutum Shedapa. Tadavaru Kurjan, the Diego, Shiva, Jimship, Ramjam Sasamongal, Hatsola, Kibis, and the Subshinji, Chotan, Drum, Turkey, Watata, Tomle, one type Shedapung, Trevazoloma, Honsha, Dechin, Barba, Wanga, Bobdanta, Deton Zoto, Shirka, Macha Devden, Bamiram Jani, Durgenia Mana, Chimbukan, Churkana, and Tai, Durjijum, Jitan of Jiti, Chazi, by my dear book, Hundinga, Wonder, and Trazano, once in Hereka. Sama Yeshi Bandravara, them Jondor Bajerbo, the Chindir, Manager game, Tori Shitaman, Jotam Shadi, Wamshi, the Tonker, Wam the Durji, Wandaki, so Nantom Yamba Chimbung, Anjata, Durji Kai, Garchita Samayo, Gamalazanga Jeti, comes some وزر مربون كندي ولا كبر تجي تم تريو شان ده برفشل درجين شق باجين بوتي جينا نمين ودرم دركيم شطول شان درجي شق شق باجين بوي نطول ديوا جيم برودم شل بام داي جيم دل دفرو كرجن درجي كون شيوا بجم شيب رام جم زازم غانقل هاتولا كي بيزروام دي سوب شنجيلو شطن ودرم دركيم خاطا توملي وان تبشل بهنو تبل زولاي ورجنا يرجين بجان سما برما كيسر دون بولا ينسنم شقن وجبني بدمام جوني جيز جم كرد كنجو مان بوب كرن جرجي جيز بدغ جيب شنجيلو بشر شخص زول غرب بدما سدد هوي جلبن غرن سمجردا جبرين زنچين بوب جدا شانسمني وب جدا جبچين بوب جل هزغلا بزرون دبزوب شنجيلو بشنا سامي ورشل سولو سمباي بجن دبدا شوطان تم جبسولو جلبن غرن سمجردا جبرين زنچين بوب جدا شانسمني وب جدا جبچين بوب جل هزغلا بزرون دبزوب شنجيلو بشنا سامي ورشل سولو سمباي بجن دبدا شوطان تم جبسولو جلبن غرن سمجردا جبرين زنچين بجد شانسمني وجدتا دبشن قبل هسولا سروان دبسب شنجيلو بشنا سامي برشل سولو سمباي بجن دبادا شوطان تمم جبزولا جلبنغرم سمجلتا دبرين زنچين بجد شانسمني وجدتا دبشن قبل هسولا سروان دبسب شنجيلو بشنا سامي برشل سولو سمباي بجن دبادا شوطان تمم جبزولا جلبنغرم سمجلتا زنچين بجد شانسمني وجد Sambai vision the badam, Chotan Tamang, Dribzolo, Chilbangaram, Samjiratam, Japan, Zinchin Bukjet, Shansan New, Jetta, the Chimpajella, Zola, Sorovan, the Sufficient Yellow, Shana Sami, Versalis, Sambai vision the badam, Chotan Tamang, Dribzolo, Chilbangaram, Samjirata, Japan, Zinchin Bukjet, Shansan New, Jetta, the Chimpajella, Zola, Sorovan, the Sufficient Yellow, Shana Sami, Versalis, Sambai vision the badam, Chotan Tamang, Dribzolo, Chilbangaram, Samjirata, Japan, Zinchin Bukjet, Shansan New, Jetta, the Chimpajella. Sorovan dipsub shinjilo vishana sami varchalo solo sambai vishan dabada chodan tanmo javar solan jelam dorjam sorovat tap tim dag soganda ni basab shos narda galapon tapsul javada chudam jashim birver zat solo timela tamba nirta tim jonga nawam germil zonji gemin sad ramdana nam karam chuchna jamzu renjina zonja paranya davarta Tonban somi la shacha sangina serjim dolchanam sanda webshaladan chugo samsolo dorji chedrom je shaye sabdan shaja lafchan shagayana nyam shagab darsi lomzala nam serjir tarazab jala qalambarava yeshi wazar javi kwayan chabani wajib jala nirtanam chajin so Pagan so jam some korji on kurja jamba zamji jim tamile nam chula dewan chakwa wal suluwa jabganan deep dagnin chimbur sala nyanji chimbo sovdanani mi jam zoni mol chimbo ngavjatab Tarkar taram sam tu shirmur dog tumba teji jan lab sham salalo darjan gosama ge solom shirji kan zam churbut and the minimal Tomala nib sagadi tomali ba nyanim jurba jagapun so surf shag Pagatang so so she would give one tisam of Saglaji Sayerango Zabjanga Jachim Chujim Kurlun Salam Shab Jeragim of Chalapara Kurta Sol Chona Namkartavi Yeshirka Tisam upon Jeremy Parajim Moraji Adarashian or Jenji Salatan Jab Jerpazirka Tatana Varamzod Daki Tisam Sagapa Gates Oji Guajamando Kanla and Lalata Yalabu, Takapara Nipsilla Jan, Chuji, Yalaba, Quampanto Parasho, Dachani, Mim, Do, and Gomilanama, Tiji, Takapara Zonga, Quatanale, Jantan, Tim, the Renchin, and Amsamanji, now I'm Jinin, Jin, Janinian, there's a jam shakasoni, the cheaper, Yerchita, Pinyani, Surdivana, one jet, Amja, Chimbo, Mamila, Shanchavarta, Tiji, Jim, Zan, and Zodam, San, bada zong li be chen ji tun bir ke le ye shi ji o zara na zog be na wa chim bu da dang sim chen tham che de ji da ba tham che lab sar jang da ba chin bo lam ji yon dan salab jan da ji di shir mar dog be sa non ber sa ma la ma tum ba chum dan di tip chen shak ba da chum ba yang da par zo be sar ji khar jar shak ja da ba lab shirin salam chu tur jap sam che om la ma tum ba chum dan di tip chen shak ba da chum ba yang da par zo be sar ji khar jar shak ja da ba lab shirin salam chu tur jap sam che om la ma tum ba chum dan di tip chen shak ba da chum ba yang da par zo be sar ji khar jar shak ja da ba lab shirin salam chu tur jap sam che om la ma tum ba chum dan di tip chen shak ba da chum ba yang da par zo be sar ji khar jar va shak ja da ba shirin salam chu tur jap sam che om la ma tum ba chum dan di tip chen shak ba da chum ba yang da par zo be sar ji khar jar shak ja da ba lab shirin salam chu tur jap sam che om la ma tum ba chum dan di tip chen shak ba da chum ba yang da par zo be sar ji khar jar va shak ja da ba shirin salam chu tur jap sam che om la ma tum ba chum dan di tip chen shak ba da chum ba yang da par zo be sar ji khar jar shak ja da ba lab shirin salam chu tur jap sam che om tali da mani mani ma manai zo 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 ha mani mani ma manai zo 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 ha devara shab chirka chandra dam gurdan gse sata shankhamanda chirgem sam chog zam pu chandra wa tendram khonor lasam jarawara shona me sarvata thangata bayom bkhom kambe sarvata kangate sabarana man ganga na kaso hai je dotan kan do dam tham tho chi risan ba mi jim do san chen gen nor dam da kwa tar phonyen jin zolam chak do sam dan han jam zul jin dotan kan do dam lam tho chi risan ba mi jim do san chen gen nor dam da kwa tar phonyen jin zolam chak do sam dan han jam zul jin dotan kan do dam lam tho chi risan ba mi jim do san chen gen nor dam da kwa tar phonyen jin zolam chak do sam dan han jam zo de ho gandap samo yishi rugo sal yanti jar moe kanza chama yishi le dan ji tin ma mo zom zolam chotam chulwe chanin zo hoy gandap samo yishi rugo sal yanti jar moe kanza chama yishi le dan ji tin ma mo zom zolam chotam chulwe chanin zo da hoy gandap samo yishi rugo sal yanti jar moe kanza chama yishi le dan ji tin ma mo zom zolam chotam chulwe chanin zo de she zhang zhong jiam ji jin bu ra la zhe le ban nam ji de dong mong che zhe da za da je ge zhe ba de ji de jin zo long che de zhe mi chen lin zo she zhong zhong jiam ji jin bu ra la zhe ban nam ji de dong mong che zhe da za da je ge zhe ba de ji de jin zo long che de zhe mi chen lin zo de she zhong zhong jiam ji jin bu ra la zhe ban nam ji de dong mong che zhe da za da je ge zhe ba de ji de jin zo long che de zhe mi chen lin zo de ho dam chen che wa chen bu de nim zan je de tam mam zang gang po ni zo gap che de sim jia de ji zo dang jin so long che dum zhe mi chen nim zo dam chen che wa chen bu de nim zan je de tam mam zang gang po ni zo gap che de sim jia de ji zo dang jin so long che dum zhe mi chen nim zo han dam chen che wa chen bu de nim zan je de tam mam zang gang po ni zo gap che de sim jia de ji zo dang jin so long che dum zhe mi chen lim zo de she padma wang ge guan yan de 我去，接着这个不接不让你回来，怎么不乖乖的这半斤，走了就等着明成林子，是把他妈换个关键能投我去，接着这个不接不让你回来，怎么不乖乖的这半斤，走了就等着明成林子，是把他妈换个关键能投我去，接着这个不接不让你回来，怎么不乖乖的这半斤，走了就等着明成林子的。刚谢了，咱们即将到的本，我这个对我们在了半夜。去将也不是那的文件那么近，大干咱们的马里，女人这本走了，可能的就跟那个大的本啊，让到满个一些我的眼龙，我玩的那全部都是进了，那把也不进也不是那的文件的。Karak salam zim zanam banja daya chim chim chadam shagir jali wamanam Jabni kila chon wala zaram midam chorana tagb jand lamir salay ni chin rawar zerni jang kama Jabala Solorwa Debergon Jeder Tobaim Pover Shenjevlobum Nichinero Sterni Jankam Yedlarman Jimmy de Pensoy Jabala Zolorwa Devergon Jeder Tobaim Pover Shenenje Olovam Tarnablam Olangi Tilir Jeranga Shawanizian Windham Gergana Yeshi Sim Diblamadan Kalavanyam Shalabantoba Parasam Kiva Kanda Yanda Lamadan Dimadan Juji Walla Lom Shadaja Sada Lamji Yundan Rabzoni Durjim Changa Guamba Nyuratava Shoy Jumdan Dim Gumbom Jawalayan Shagam Zalalo Gangam Love Jujim Yeftim Taran Yataranam Tarab Salabi Jenera Tonkan Javjan Zivshiran Yirjin Dikara Lagwa Manzana Gonda Jabba Zara Mari Mantan of Dinga Jizarava Dotsogan Lava Jim Tarzi and Gigi Ayandana Som Jitter Jidro Pneumonia Lonely Jim Jordan Zalaja Maria Manzala Dimgalanyaka Janila Shunzala the name of James Jim Tarzan Liza Jelati work Chatab Jatam Janim Jim Chief the Lumen Zalam Jawala Ayala the Umara Patana 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 the Zedan Girgim Kera or Zaraji Daglush the Mayman Bar Salani Badam dam Jean Le Topai Lodrud Bodapa now wife Jerad Solo.
Chembordan Himizao, Donner Molum Chembor, Yadiat. Pakartargum Santo Shilmardo, Tomba Tiji Janla Kisham, National Watering Jangansa, Jawati Shanla Yilla. Jimmy Panzo Jala Zoran, the Gonjatuban Power Shinjilo, Gonjatuban Power Shinji, Gonjatuban Power Shinjilo.
In order to liberate all sentient beings, let's listen to this class with Bodhicitta. The oral transmission of today actually was given yesterday, so we don't have to read the oral transmission or listen to it today. Let's continue with the teaching of the Malakirti Sutra. In fact, today we'll be able to finish this chapter, and not many chapters are left. During the studying of this sutra, I believe the majority of the practitioners, the Sangha, are rather really diligent without missing a single class. You attach great importance to this class and listen to it carefully. And I really wish everyone who started listening to this sutra would finish this sutra. It is really important to create auspicious arising when you're listening to any Dharma teachings and not interrupt or stop listening to the sutra in between. Because there are so many sutras and shastras, we don't really know too much about those. We don't have a profound understanding of Mahayana teachings, Mahayana Buddhism. Therefore, we should generate the mind of curiosity and avoid the kind of mind of boredom. Listen to the class when you're happy, and stop listening to the class when you're not. We should avoid such kind of attitude. If you have such kind of attitude, don't mention about studying such profound teachings as the Dharma. You can't even succeed in anything worldly either. So have a mind of cherishing this opportunity of listening to the Dharma. You should know the precious and the preciousness and the value of Mahayana Buddhism, so that you will cherish it, cherish such opportunity of listening to such Dharma. For people who have interest, who are curious of the Dharma, I think some only sample it, but I think for the majority of us, we really want to dig in and dig into this profound Dharma. Vimalakirti, in fact, talked a lot about the profound meaning of Mahayana teaching. I think majority of Buddhists, as the Theravada Buddhist would say, or they only study the very simple teachings from Theravada tradition, such as the 12 links and so on. But lots of the skillful means of bodhisattvas and the truth of all phenomena are really not learned or studied ever before, at least not much. So, if you have the mind of studying and practice Mahayana Buddhism, it is really crucial to study sutras like such. In fact, all throughout history, such sutra is attached with great importance. The Avatamsaka Sutra as well as the Vimalakirti Sutra are considered as the most important sutras in Zen Buddhism, as well as the Sutra of Sixth Patriarch, the Platform Sutra. It has great influence coming from Vimalakirti Sutra. Everything's so impermanent throughout the river of history. Today, we're studying this sutra, listening to this sutra, and the people who used to listen to this sutra who were really important, and nowadays the people who listen to this sutra are not many, including in mainland China monasteries as well as other places in the world. So it is quite important to be able to receive the oral transmission, and once you receive such oral transmission and the teaching of the sutra, then you should make the aspiration of propagating this particular sutra and carry the teaching forward. Once you make such great aspiration, you will definitely have the opportunity to propagate this Dharma. Even if not in this lifetime, in the future lifetimes, you will be able to do so. In my before class, in fact, in my after class, after the after class chanting, we usually have the oral exam as well as the group discussion, and during which, if you participate in such discussions, you should make the aspiration of having the opportunity of turn the wheel of Dharma. Whenever it's your turn to make an oral presentation on the sutra after class, then you should make the aspiration that please let me be the one to make the oral presentation, so that it will plant a seed for my future Dharma propagation on this sutra. And may I please have many retinues and students listening to this sutra from me in this lifetime and next lifetime. This kind of opportunity is really difficult to gain, and it is quite auspicious. So if you have the great aspiration and have the right aspiration, then by doing this, you gain great merits. Throughout this endless and beginningless samsara, we went through so many difficulties and so many things. But having such opportunity of listening to the sutra, be able to giving oral presentation on this sutra, having discussion on this sutra, this is really rare in this great time span of beginningless and endless samsara. Let it be a lay practitioner or a monastic, you should make the aspiration whether if you only have one disciple, even if this disciple is really not that sharp, you still will teach this sutra to them. And this kind of opportunity is very precious, and this kind of mind of propagating is very precious. Do you have this kind of aspiration? How many have such aspirations? How about you? Okay. So those whomsoever answered yes and raised your hands, and you've made such aspiration, I think. The people whomsoever are listening to this class through internet, you may also make such aspiration. In different times, in different time periods, different places, you should make the aspiration of giving the sutra to others. Or sometimes you could, even before you die, you could read the oral transmission of this to others. In Tibet, the tradition is that once someone receives an oral transmission or teaching transmission, then they would make the aspiration of continue to propagate the Dharma in next lifetime and practice in next lifetime. This will carry lots of blessings to you. So we are on the part where we talked about how bodhisattvas carry all different methods and all different kinds of skillful means to benefit sentient beings. And we'll start here. It says that he manifests the experience in the five desires and also manifests the practice of dhyana, making Maras distressed at being unable to take control. For people whomsoever experience the five desires, the sound, the view, the taste, and the feeling, the touch, and the fragrance, all of those worldly pleasure, the bodhisattva would enjoy them. At the same time, he would be in the dhyana or meditative state. Sometimes they would enjoy all the five pleasures within that meditative state. And during such meditative state, all the mind of Maras will be distracted, it will be destroyed, because all the Maras was trying to create distractions, trying to create difficulties for the practitioner. But when the practitioner abides in such kind of meditative states, the Mara won't be able to distress or distract such practitioner who abided in the meditative state. To the bodhisattva who enjoy the five desires in such meditative state, the Maras are not able to distress them. The bodhisattvas manifest themselves in many different forms. From mundane people's eye, we can't agree that a person is dancing and singing, and they're in meditation at the same time. What are you talking about? That's really not what meditation is in our mind. Meditation is how we perceive the meditator sitting in the room on the cushion and meditating, isn't it? But the bodhisattva, in fact, he is in that meditative state while enjoying the five desires. In a compendium of all sutras, it has a story within. Shupati asked a lady, a woman, and saying that, who is your husband? The woman answers, I have many husbands. My husbands are the ones who enjoys the five desires. They are all my husbands. Then Shupati continued to ask, how do you magnetize them? And the woman answers, I magnetize them who enjoy provision with provision, and I magnetize them who enjoy five desires with five desires. Use such methods, I give them pleasure. And Shupati then asked, well, the Buddha said it is important to eradicate all the five desires. And your action is in violation of the Buddha, isn't it? Then this woman answers, that's not necessarily true. Look at bhikshus like you. You're supposed to be content with whatever you have and enjoy simplicity. But in special conditions, when people offer you alms of great treasures and luxurious alms, you would still accept it because it brings benefits to them by making such offering. And then Shupati continued to ask, through this way, how many people have you benefited? And this woman answered, I've benefited the sentient beings that surpass the number of all the stars in the sky. So the moral of the story is that some bodhisattvas, they may appear to be enjoying the five desires. In fact, that's only their methods of benefiting sentient beings. That's their manifestation. That's their skillful means. So it talks about making Maras distressed, making the Maras so ashamed and not able to create any obstacles for them. In the Avatamsaka Samadhi Sutra, it talks about a bodhisattva whose name is untinted action. He went to this Mara's palace and manifested himself as this really handsome prince and celestial prince. And then all the Maras, all the female Maras, which are numbered 200, they all created desire. They all had a desire towards him. And right away, this bodhisattva manifested 200 bodies of himself. And then the Mara said that if you could fulfill my request, then we will follow your order. And then this 200 bodhisattvas and 200 female Maras, then they enjoyed pleasure, and eventually the bodhisattva led them into the path of liberation. So sometimes the bodhisattvas and Maras are not really separate, as in the Zen tradition. That's what they said. In Theravada tradition, it is important that you only follow the Buddha's path and not the Mara's path. Otherwise, you're really going astray. So as practitioners, when your practice status are still not at that level yet, there is a big difference between Mara and Buddha. But once you arrive or reach to such insight where you recognize the non-duality of Buddha and Mara. So for people with sharp capacity, in fact, Buddha and Mara, they are non-existent anyways. And Maras would not bring any obstacles to your life.
那么下面呢就是将这个比喻啊，就是说活
And
着
now
这
a
个
metaphor.
活着呢就是圣莲花是各为
It says, for a lotus flower to be born in the midst of fire can certainly be called rare. To practice the dhyana within the desires, this is just as rare. The lotus flower grows in the water, in water ponds. How could they be born in the midst of fire? But sometimes, in such a rare condition, in the fire element, the lotus flower will also be born. This is very rare. It is not burnt by the fire. Not only not burnt, it blossoms even more vividly. When the bodhisattva enjoys the five skandha, he also abide in the meditative states. This is also as rare, just as rare. So,
就是我们这个也可以这样讲吧，就是如果这个
That's the meaning of this metaphor. If the affliction does not tint this bodhisattva, then it's just like something that survives a great fire, because usually things are burnt to dust in fire. For mundane beings, usually we would practice the meditation in a quiet place, but within a great, people cannot abide in meditative state within a crowd. And people usually say, I'm in retreat, do not disturb me, I'm in meditation. I have really high expectation to myself, therefore I need to have a quiet environment. For people who have right mindfulness,
也是在这个比较特殊的环境当中，也是不会释怀就是自己的利
they
益。
when their right mindfulness is very much stable, then they won't lose such meditative state in even very chaotic environments. As Shantideva said that if this is how I act and live, then even in the midst of evil folk, or even with fair women, all this is well. My diligent observance of vow will not decline. In those evil folk, such as butchers, prostitutes, and so on, and within the group of beautiful women, all those monastics with pure precepts, they have right mindfulness, then they won't get disturbed either. Some monastics, some lay practitioners, especially monastics, they seem to be in a group where it doesn't seem to be like a pure environment for the monastics, and stay in the heterodox groups. In fact, they're due to their high level of realization, they are not going to be disturbed by such kind of group, such kind of crowd. This is very rare, but there are people like that. The people with the practitioners with sharp capacity, they are like that. Because it is very difficult to have a lotus flower to be born in the midst of fire. Some historian feels that lots of the wording and descriptions are quite important to the poems, to the contribution of the language, especially in the mainland area, and it created lots of influence in the mainland area, and that kind of influence continued to carry on. There's a poet, very famous Chinese poet named Bai Juyi, and he wrote this poem where it says that the very superficial floating glory is just like riding on water. Truth is the lotus born in the midst of fire. So all of this worldly superficial fame and glory and wealth, those are just like riding on water. It will disappear within no time. But the truth is just like the lotus that burns in fire. Because fire is very easy to burn things into dust. But something that survives great fire, it shows the steadiness as well as the solidity or the genuine truth of things. Things tend to be very ever-changing, and it doesn't have a true value. But when there is the kind of a value just like truth, then that truth is like the lotus flower that burns out of fire. Also, Su Dongpo, who is another poet, he said that it is very normal for the ground to give birth to lotus flower, but a lotus flower that born out of fire is truly rare. So the genuine truth of wise people, those are truly rare, truly precious. In our mind, things like lotus born in fire doesn't exist. But we shouldn't use our reference point that we gain from our life experience to judge what is written in the text, in the sutras, because our wisdom is very much limited. And whenever we learn from the Mahayana Buddhism, we'll be able to see how our mind can be expanded if you keep an open mind, if you only study common vehicle, only studied common vehicle before, or Theravada tradition before, your knowledge base is just as such. And then once you expand your knowledge base to Mahayana Buddhism, your vision is much more expanded, and you will feel quite fresh about all this knowledge. So do not judge based on your life experience or your reference points that you gained from previous life experience to judge the truth or false of a sutra. Different bodhisattvas use different methods to benefit sentient beings, and we cannot judge what they are or what they're doing. We can't even have a very genuine analysis on the forms, on the things that exist outside. How can we make judgment based on our previous knowledge on the profound Dharma and profound truth? So it's quite important to keep such kind of open mind and not judge. In such a way, you're not creating negative karma for yourself. Continue with the stanzas. He may manifest himself as a prostitute, enticing those who enjoy sensuality, first enticing them with desire and later causing them to enter the wisdom of the Buddha. Sometimes the bodhisattvas would manifest themselves as prostitutes, and they would entice people who enjoy or dwell in sensuality. After enticing them, they would use such kind of attraction and such kind of sensuality enjoyment, and then they would use that to fish them out and then cause them to enter the wisdom of the Buddha. So over here, the desire, sometimes it could be wealth, and for people who enjoy beauty or sensuality, maybe the bodhisattvas would manifest them as a beautiful woman, and so on. And after they're enticed, the bodhisattvas will lead them to enter the path of the Dharma. Usually we would consider prostitutes are very much of a low class, a low status in the society. In Asia countries, in India, I think it's very similar to nowadays, only there are a few countries where they would consider prostitution is a legit career and it is lawful. So those red light districts, career? I think I'm not sure if that's the word I'm looking for. In countries where they value culture and tradition very much, people usually perceive prostitutes as very low in status or low in the social ladder. There are also intimate relationships such as men and women. I think sometimes the Buddhists would usually even consider those kind of intimate relationships as impure because the Buddha is supposed to be celibate. But that kind of view, it seems rather narrow when we compare this to the bodhisattva who would manifest himself as a prostitute in order to benefit sentient beings. I think normally people can't accept such kind of manifestation. And
也要懂得，就像《华严经》当中呢，就是
I think we should
这些53赞当中我记得有一个叫做婆须弥多这个经语啊，就是婆须弥多
And
经语。
I think we can be more open-minded about that. In Avatamsaka Sutra, it recorded a story about a very famous, very beautiful
他的行为也是
prostitute.
以卖淫为生的。那么当时那个三菜童子呢
Prostitution
不知道是
was
弥
her
勒菩萨
livelihood.
菩萨谁的推荐
I think at that time, not sure if it's Maitreya or
参拜就是每一个三菜的时候呢，有一次呢，这个
recommendation.
他去
Sudana then went there, went to that city to meet this
这
prostitute.
个妓女啊，就是也就是说是这个婆须弥多的这个妓女。当时他到哪里去的时候呢，就是因为他的形象呢，就是这个三菜童子的形象呢，
Because
非常
Sudana
庄
is
严呐
very handsome and looks very proper,
这种这个
really respectful, and it makes people feel very much respected and make people feel pleasant. So when Sudana started asking about this prostitute, people felt really odd and felt that prostitution and this particular prostitute, although looks really beautiful, but this career is a very low and dirty career. So they suggested that Sudana shouldn't go and visit her.
他就知道这个妓女呢不是一般的这个不是一般的这个人。
Only a woman in that city who has great wisdom,
好像在什么某个
and
城市的北边
knowing that this prostitute is no
他的这个住处
usual woman, and then she told Sudana where this prostitute was. And Sudana went to see this prostitute. He first, after meeting her, he first prostrated to her 3 times, and then said that I want to make the aspiration of generating bodhicitta. Would you please give me teachings of Mahayana Buddhism and the action of a Mahayana Buddhist? And then asked the prostitute, what kind of action are you taking to benefit sentient beings? And this prostitute replied, saying that currently I'm using this form and action to benefit sentient beings. After describing the physical beauty of hers and the sound, the melodious sound of hers, her beautiful, luxurious hair, as well as glowing skin, all of those, and her appearance cannot be compared even by a celestial goddess. And Sudana asked prostitute, saying that, so what kind of action are you taking to benefit beings? Prostitute answered, whenever I am in front of human beings, I benefit them in the form of theirs, and whenever I want to benefit celestial beings, I appear in their form to benefit them. And whenever people get close to me, whenever people embrace me, they will attain dispassion, or they will be attaining the unattachment just by embracing me and achieve enlightening concentration called womb receiving all sentient beings without rejection. Some attain dispassion just by kissing me and achieve an enlightening concentration called contact with the treasury of virtue of all beings. All those who come to me, I establish in this enlightening liberation of ultimate dispassion on the brink of the stage of unimpeded omniscience. Whomsoever get in touch with me, holding me, kissing me, and embracing me, those people will all attain the samadhi of some kinds and will be able to attain omniscience in the future. Sometimes some women, maybe their actions may not seem to be very proper. On the surface, their actions doesn't feel really right, but maybe some of them are manifestations of bodhisattvas, and their intentions are completely different and their abilities are completely different. So after receiving the education of Buddhism, especially the Theravada Buddhism, we talk about eradicate the desires. Yes, those are the solid desires, the existent desires that you have. And those are the kind of desires, and those kind of desires are a violation of precepts. But in Mahayana Buddhism, once they hear such teachings, especially people who received such education, as I stated earlier, they would feel completely astounded when they hear teachings like such. But bodhisattvas would manifest in many different ways. The true teaching of Mahayana Buddhism, just as what is taught over here, maybe you see depiction of depictions of bodhisattvas in union and so on. Those are not really odd. Those are rather normal. As Confucius said that all of these kind of desires are rather normal for all human beings. It is very much of human nature. People who received teachings of Theravada or very basic teachings of Buddhism, they would feel that Buddhism is supposed to be devoid of desire, isn't it? But yes, sometimes that's very true in some cases, but in some other cases, in this case, the desire is a method of benefiting beings, and those may appear in contradictory with the previous knowledge, but they're not in its essence. Desire brings suffering, brings affliction, but as Mahayana practitioners, through such desire, the goal is to experience it and attain or see the nature of it, or using such method of desire to lead sentient beings onto the correct path of Buddhism, eventually to liberation. And this is the all-pervading actions of Mahayana. Also, the bodhisattvas manifest and appears in different types of people to benefit beings, such as a village master, merchant guides, national teacher, great minister, in order to benefit sentient beings. Sometimes they will be in small villages, and they'll become the leader of this village, and sometimes become a great merchant. The guise of a merchant, just as Shakyamuni Buddha manifested himself as the merchant guide before as well, or in his past life he was the merchant guide, as well as national teacher. In Buddhist countries, they have some national teachers who are Buddhists, who are great masters. In the history in China, there were also national teachers who were Buddhist masters, such as Master Qingliang and so on. And great ministers. So through such ways, they would lead beings and guide beings. In other editions, in the The Tang Dynasty's translated version, it is similar to this version. And in the Tibetan version, it says it's a priest, or rather a teacher of emperor of the emperor of the king. And in the Sanskrit version, it has another person who is a priest and a cabinet or hand of a king. In different editions, translation editions, these are a bit. This actually has a little bit difference, but it's generally the same in essence. What this people means or represents are people who have certain power in the country and can lead the country. Because as kings, as great ministers, as merchant guides, whatever they say, even just one order, one command, the whole country will follow them. If a national teacher makes one request or one order, then the king would also follow the teacher, and the citizens of such country would also follow his order. The merchant guide, a great boss or CEO, once they want to initiate any kind of new project in the company, next week we'll practice the Heart Sutra, then everyone will follow. If the big boss makes such command, then everyone will follow such command. Whenever I visit some company, I noticed that some employees don't want to chant the Heart Sutra. I noticed some employees who don't want to recite the sutra or chant the sutra. Their mouth will still move, but because they're too afraid of disobey the big boss, therefore they would still do it. Some people, they don't want to be a politician or be of great authority. But in this case, I think if you have the opportunity to have great power, I would rejoice it. I had a friend before, and he asked me when he got a promotion. He asked me whether if he should take that promotion. And he asked for my opinion. I said, yes, I think you should if you have such opportunity. He did finally, and he felt that, well, although I am the same person, I'm of no difference than before, but now whatever I say really makes a difference, because people don't really used to listen to me, but now they do. They would follow my order and follow my command. So for bodhisattvas, I think you should make aspiration of having more power and have more or have a higher status in the society, have more authority. In such a way, you'll be able to benefit beings. Of course, you have to give up the desire of getting to a higher place. I think the bodhisattva who has the intention of liberating all sentient beings of the 3,000-fold world, you probably won't care about such status anyway, because you have a much bigger goal and much bigger vision in your mind. So whenever you have the opportunity, then do it. But of course, there are people who really want to be some kind of leader, but they don't have such an opportunity, or they're not really of such a capacity. I knew a teacher who really wanted to become a leader of the group. But when she volunteered herself to become a leader, she didn't get the position and she lost the position of become teacher. I said, well, now you're hanging on a cliff. And she really suffered a lot because of this. When you're searching for fame and wealth, sometimes that's what happens. Next verse says that for the destitute he manifests inexhaustible treasuries, thereby exhorting and guiding them, causing them to generate the intention to achieve enlightenment. For the poor and destitute people who are suffering a lot, the bodhisattvas would manifest themselves as treasures and mines of coal or of gold, of minerals, and so on. Or they would manifest themselves as really wealthy philanthropies. After helping them, the people would, the bodhisattvas would guide such people. So, when you have wealth, not only you should help those poor people with wealth, you should also help them with spirituality as well. Just as in Christianity, they first would help people very materialistically, and then they would help them with their education and work and so on, and then lead them to the spirituality aspect. So we should also follow such kind of order. In the way of the Bodhisattva, it says that for sentient beings poor and destitute, may I become a treasure, ever plentiful, and lie before them closely in their reach, a varied source of all that they might need. Maybe it's wealth, lots of money. Do you know what gurmo is? It's money in Tibetan. So for people who need money, then the bodhisattva would manifest themselves as money. If they need food and drink, bodhisattvas would manifest themselves as food and drink. So I think philanthropy is of great importance. When everyone's effort is gathered together to help others, you can really make a change to other people's fates. Of course, during such process, you will have lots of pressure, have lots of spend lots of time and energy and effort. But really, when you look back, you would notice that between to do charity or not to do charity, it's always good to do charity. In places where they are doing a great job in terms of charity, they really gather a little drop of water of everyone's effort is like a drop of water, and merge that into the ocean of great effort that's made by everyone. Of course, there are places that we cannot reach, and there are people that we're really not able to help, but we can help as much as we can. Just as a story goes, I quoted before that a child at the seashore picking up fish, washed up to the shore and struggling to survive. He picked up all the fish. He picked up one fish at a time and throwing them back to the ocean. So it is important for each fish to continue their life. But of course, it has to be with wisdom. when I went to Europe, I felt that Europe is so advanced and so much developed, so they should really generate the bodhicitta to accept as many refugees as possible. But after a while, you'd notice that refugees are not making a great impact in their society. And then I was thinking that wisdom is really of great importance when it comes to charity as well. Once you have both compassion and wisdom, then you'll be able to succeed in whatever charity you do. For those who are selfish and conceited, he manifests himself as a great warrior, decimating the pretensions of sentient beings and causing them to abide in the unsurpassable path. Because people who are arrogant, they will get pacified once they see people who are much greater than them. There was a story when the Buddha brought Vajrapani Bodhisattva to the Naga's palace. The Naga was of great arrogance and has a great malicious intention towards the Buddha and the Bodhisattva Vajrapani. So after noticing that, the Buddha saw that this Naga king's mind will mature only if he generates anger or fear, so that he will be able to receive teaching from the Buddha. Therefore, the Buddha asked the Vajrapani Bodhisattva to break the mountain and use the mountain to destroy the Naga's palace, and then the Buddha manifested lots of great fire. Only the place around the Buddha was really clear and really cool, so the Naga had no choice but came to the Buddha and listened to the teaching. So to the arrogant people, the Buddha would manifest in such a form of a wrathful form. When the other person get really angry, the Buddha would say, "I was just kidding." Sometimes I do that. At first, I really wanted to use arrogance. Wanted to use wrathful form to tame him, and sometimes they would argue back even harder, and then I would have to say that it's okay, I was kidding. It's just slowly lead them to the path of Buddha or the Buddha Dharma. The host of a fear striking, he shields and comforts, first giving them fearlessness, and then causing them to generate the intention to achieve enlightenment, not to ask them to generate bodhicitta and to chant the name of Buddha when he was having fear. So the first thing the bodhisattva would do is to pacify such fear, to comfort people with such fear. In our world, nowadays people often have lots of fear. We talked in the Sikalabhada Sutra. We also talked about how nowadays how people have the 4 kinds of minds that are 3 poisons and fear. When people are sick, some skillful doctors would use placebo to comfort them first, to take some candies as medicines, and after the patients get really relaxed, then the doctor will continue to cure them, or so on. Sometimes words don't really help. Lots of the catastrophes that happens in this world are quite fearful. This morning, the Notre Dame Cathedral all was burned. Back in 2015, October 16th, I went to the few different places of France, of Paris, including Notre Dame Cathedral. And when I was there, I was very much in awe of such great structure. Some say that it took them 86 years or over 100 years to build such a cathedral. And it survived the First World War and the Second World War. But yesterday, the fire just devoured this beautiful structure. I saw many people kneeled in front of the scene and had lots of fear. Earthquake, tsunami, great fire. Those are of great fear to human beings because in front of those catastrophes, human energy or human actions are very minimal effect. It's very good for people to make prayers. And there are two ways of making prayers to people who are suffering from different devastations, such as go to them and comfort them. Otherwise, we can always pray to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to protect them and shield them. In such a way, it is also to give them comfort as well as strength. There were incidents where the fire was burning and expanding, but because of the power of prayer, a great rain falls. So something happened like that. Some people say that the Notre Dame Cathedral burnt, got a fire because of revenge, and we also see that after the fire or during the fire, people send lots of love to love and care to the people of Paris as well as such a great architecture. I think nowadays we should really be alert with fire. Lots of rituals in Buddhism when we offer lamps, butter lamps, and so on. I think we should be very careful. We should keep the fire routes clean. And you should have the fire trucks as well as equipment to extinguish fire. Otherwise, when the fire bursts, then there's no way to. It's very difficult to control them, to keep them under the control. During the time of Phuntsholm Rinpoche as well as nowadays, people are not really aware of fire security. And when it happens, everyone feels really powerless and helpless, including in monasteries as well as in urban area. I think the practitioners should have such a mind of keeping all the fire fire, of keeping all the fire under control, as well as have such sense of safety, fire safety in mind. If you're not wise, then slowly you might be drowned into situations that you want to avoid, but you couldn't. Sometimes it's because of the past life karma, and sometimes it's because of the maturation of conditions, just as how an old bhikshu in the sutra, where because of his previous karma, he was blocked by a great fire and couldn't get out, like a prison. When you're driving, you feel that the road of Mahayana is really wide and really smooth, and you drive much faster. And then a policeman will catch you from the back. So I think we should be cautious, be aware, be alert. Whenever I see lots of Buddhists who are too open-minded, who are too outspoken, I think that's not really safe. He may manifest the transcendence of the sensuous desire and become a transcendent of 5 penetrations, guiding the host of beings and making them abide in morality, forbearance, and sympathy. Over here, he manifests in the form of a celestial sage, where celestial sage, they naturally don't have desires. Usually they would manifest in a way of purity, but over here, because they want to help the sentient beings, they would manifest such a way to help the sentient beings and making them abide in morality, forbearance, and sympathy. So seeing those who should be served, he manifests him as a servant to make them happy, to make them content, and to follow their order and do whatever way they want, and taking joy in the affirmation of one's intention. Those to be honored generate the intention to achieve enlightenment. So we should not look down upon others or look any less of people of lower status, because you never know, and bodhisattvas would manifest in different ways to benefit sentient beings. I see some of our practitioners, their social status as well as their academic achievements are rather high, and they really conceal all of their past achievements, and they volunteer as janitors, as volunteers who work in menial work. Only after I find out, I feel, wow, he's really great. He really is not of any arrogant. They would pretend themselves to be really silly and to look rather slow, just as some actors would put something on their teeth and pretend to look rather silly. So some great bodhisattvas conceal themselves and pretend to be a servant, to serve others. They may appear to be of lower status, but to people who need to be served, through their service, they would lead such people to the path of liberation as well. In accordance with the needs of others, he caused them to enter into the path of Buddhahood. Using the power of good, skillful means, he provides sufficiency to all. Bodhisattvas use the power of skillful means This part is a little bit different in the Tibetan version. It's a little bit in juxtaposition, but this is also okay. So anyways, the bodhisattvas would use any kind of skillful means to benefit sentient beings and provide sufficiency to all. So we should be more flexible. We should be able to play any kind of forms, any kind of roles to benefit beings as Mahayana practitioners. And thus are the path immeasurable, which he traversed without restrictions. Because the path is immeasurable, therefore his actions could be immeasurable. His wisdom is without limit in saving the innumerable host of beings. But Mahayana Buddhism is just like such, as the Buddha in the causal state, he manifested it, or he had lives as a butcher, as a prostitute, as a eunuch, as heterodox practitioners. So he used all different forms. He was in different forms to benefit beings. Mahayana practitioners could use immeasurable forms, sentient, non-sentient, innumerable, endless kinds of forms, to be very resourceful in terms of benefiting sentient beings. So in our eyes, we usually only see how Mahayana practitioners only generate bodhicitta, and that's what makes a practitioner Mahayana Buddhist. And whenever we see people who break the law and stay in prison, in fact, whenever I go to prison to teach, I often think to myself, there must be bodhisattvas in there, in such a form of inmate to help beings in the prison. His wisdom is without limit. Usually our wisdom is very much limited because of our culture, because of our background. But once you get into Buddhism, you would notice how there is no other agenda other than benefiting beings. Such teaching is so unique and so precious in this world. There are so many religions and so many kinds of beliefs, but the kind of practice that only generates compassion towards sentient beings is only Mahayana Buddhism. And whatever actions, whatever forms that is beneficial to sentient beings, the Mahayana practitioner or the bodhisattvas will be there to use such methods and forms to benefit beings. That is why the merit is immeasurable. That is why bodhicitta is so precious, because Mahayana Buddhism is just like that. If without understanding this, you are really not understanding what Vimalakirti Sutra is talking about. Vimalakirti Sutra, yes, the view is very much similar to Vajrayana teaching, but the most important is that the key of practicing Mahayana Buddhism is to generate such kind of immeasurable wisdom and methods. And in Master Sun Zhao's commentary, he said that without
那将领呢，就是一切佛就是与无量这个一劫等赞叹其功德呢，就由上呢不冷尽啊，就是因为这个大乘功德发的功德是诸佛菩萨呢，就是在无量劫当中，他以各种各样的方式来就是赞叹的话，他的功德呢，就是根本没办法就是所尽的啊，就是因为 真的这个功德呢，就是那么的大，就是所以这个大家也应该有受这种感觉吧。那么声闻呢，就是如是发不发菩提心呢？那么出彼不晓人啊，就是那么沉迷无知者，就是意思就是说，这个讲了那么好的这个佛陀的这个功德的话呢，如果谁人听到这样的大乘法，还不发菩提心，还要就是担着一些自私自利的心，担着这个阿乘的这种心的这种人的话呢，那除非是这个不晓啊，就是特别恶的、特别差劲的那些人，特别愚痴的人、特别无知的人。除此之外的话呢，就是只要是人，就是不可能没有的。真的是你是一个人类，就是人类的话呢，我们一般的什么拉丁语的话呢 ，human 是吧？就讲的是就是比动物还要这个更那个有智慧的、有能趋势的这样的一个高级的，就是有智慧的一种这个群类啊。那么如果你就还没有就是认识到的话呢，那我们可能真的是跟这个就是其他的这个众生啊，就是比较这个相提并论了。当然这样的这种大道呢，就是如果我们就是听了之后啊，就是还没有这个身子的话呢，就是还产生邪见的话呢，那可能是不是这个下士道的？就像以前孔子也是讲过吧。我看到那个僧肇大师也说是什么这个下士闻到大而笑之，就是跟孔子说法有点像的。那么就是那种下士的话呢，闻到这些大道的时候呢，就是大家都会大笑的，就是日月岁命何以故者，就是虽然这个日月呢，是这个光明的，但是就是没有这个双目的人来讲呢，就是根本是这个看不到的。所以说呢，就只要是这个人，只要是有智慧的，只要是有心脏的，就是只要
So
是
as
有这
human
个
beings,
有心有肺，什么就这个人是没心没肺，就是
they are of
那
no
只要有心有
heart,
肺的
no
我们藏地的话呢，就是只要有
mind.
只要有
In
心脏
Tibetan, what we say that is that people whomsoever has a mind, has a heart, they would definitely accept such kind of teaching. In Canada, Pansar Rinpoche gave a wonderful speech. I think next time we should study this. In this speech, he talked about the merits of the Buddha, and he said that people with such great people whomsoever heard the merits of the Buddha and still not following his teaching must be the person without a brain and a heart. So we should all generate the mind of bodhicitta, because this is such a wonderful sutra, and it has great blessings, has great energy, and we have wonderful oral transmission. We have this purest oral transmission. So for practitioners who have a great understanding and have profound devotion, I think this is really meaningful. We'll stop here today, and I have a short announcement for people after the chanting, only for practitioners here. So we'll finish this chapter. Next chapter, we will talk about the Dharma gate of non-duality. This is a wonderful sutra. I'm not sure how much you understand this so far. Once you get into the teaching of the Dharma, then you will be able to taste the wonderful, delicious taste of the Dharma, just as you enter into a restaurant where you feel that everything in the restaurant is just delicious. So all the taste from the beginning of Vimalakirti Sutra, from Vimalakirti's sickness, from the part where the 10 great disciples went to see Vimalakirti, and then the bodhisattvas went to ask for Vimalakirti's sickness, and then the goddess's conversation with Vimalakirti Manjushri as well. All of those are so wonderful. So for those of you who heard this teaching, who are listening to this teaching, make the aspiration of teaching this great sutra to others. If you don't have any disciple, at least you should teach this to your children by force. And you should tell them, as my children, at least you should listen to my class. That's my only request of you. Of course, before the children makes money and being financially free, before they're financially reliant on themselves, you can teach that to them.
Kachin Chashi Jina Shipershil. Tisam Shaba Maya Sangeka, de Takachi, she loved the gift, Stata de Takan of Shoyala, Gemara Kirpun and Tarat Jimji. Kayan Tisam Jam Kolapa, de Tadarchi Tantam Gumbarab, de Taramalim Shonam and Tamchalata, Yarava Taka Janam Kolamji. Kayam Abshin Jitin, Dunmanam Abshan Chiverim Burim Sanjam Korlov Kor, Yangan and Deeper after Shem Tatunam Gombo can get on the Damcho. Condemn your weaves and Chalaton Namada, Gani Goya Takaput of Tagata, Kanda Yundan of Shulaput Namada, Kanda Chapa Shamba Takato. Kane gave Sunam of Tagadam, Chapa, me per a jerpa, yeshit of Sheriff Tabtan, Damzana of Takaki, Shanchavat, Namayan Tagadapershil, Lichit, Namayon, Tagapshilajam, Numo, Namakandam, Jumpershil, the jet, Namata Miller of Shilajam. Zambu should have put on the Zoperja. Janama Jamso number of Shiraja, Simpson Jamso Tagana number of Dur, Chunama Jamso Raptam, Tom Shiraja, Yeshi Jamso Rapta, Topershil, Shurpa Jamso number of Shiraja, Mulama Jamso Yosef Zopershil, Sardi Jamso Raptam, Chup Shiraja, Karpa Jamso Majo Japerja. Tisam Sharpa, Jaravaya, Shanchip, Shurba, Molam Shitanam, Zampo Shurpi, Shanchip, Sardine, taken a ducky, my leaves operative. Jarava can get it, Tawapa, Kanga, Mana, and the Zamjibsha, keep at the dance on Parapja, Sher, Gavan, the Tagatamjala after Litanga, Yirjan, and Tagajan, Shurpan, and Tagajan, and my own Tagapa, Moa Zampum, keep at Jemdawa, Tamer of Tagajan, the dance on Parasho. Kani gave up Zambu, Shepherd, Sharam, Jawala, Gina, Molam, Jeperja, Mawam Karapak, and Machover, Dave, Shava, my leaves operative. Shurpatana, Tayuna, my Keraji, Yundan, and Johns of Zombie Parasho, Shurpat, Melipalan, in Jam, Detaram Tarpat, Hamchalam Salavaravje. Namkim Tartu Jirpa, Chatsambara, Simchana, Malim, Daya, Divjanande, Chatsamalitam, Yumon, Tajarapa, Daga, Molam, and Taya, Dezamo. Kayam, Shoji, Janam, and Taipa, Rimchin, Gendi, Jalavanam, La Pala, Tatama, Yev, Deva, Chonamajan, Jangal, Delania, Karapara, Palavi. Kangab Nova Jerpun, the Tuni, Shanchaman Choke, Jizura Mosha, Nanchi Zamiam Tarpa, Jerpanam, Sonam Dambum Chotan, Dangerero. Kangi Zamshudamolam and the Tapi, Dinang and Zon Tamjala Pavanger, Dina Jopung and Barapawayan, Nawam Tai, they are them Yeramton. They Taganya Param Yella, they were and so, Matsim, the Rayan, they Tagala Parao. Kanda Zampo, they am Chendaver, they Tagaram Purma, Division. Divanama Gangam, she won't give she better. Dave Zampo should pam the Jurana, near the Malay on serve Shavaram. Yeshi Dana Zitan, Sanamada, Ritan, Katawanam, Dambaramger, Dalatam, Merta, Mambo, Dimatab, Jitan, Sambok, and Nam Chulaparamger. Shanchivishawan, Don't Dimiram Do, Sony, Simjan and Pamshir, Dim Dishte, Shanchivas Jim Korlor at the Kur, the Namade Dam Jipat, Hamjadal. Kayam Zampu should put Molamanda and Chawatan, Tuntamalonaya. The number member son Jim Kin, Shanchevin Chola, Sumyam Abshidaji, Jacola, Chitrin, Kimbada, Ganda, Zambu, the Division and the Ganji, Jesus, the Love Sharer, gave up the Tamchadar after Vno. This Mashap Java, Tamchadaji, Noa, Kangalam, Chada, Nagba, Dave, Daka gave us Savan, the Canadian, Zambu, Jobsharer after more of you. Cherry Divshila Japana, Japan, Tamjalatanam Shamsalade, Monsamana, one time, them Tony, Deva, Janje, Jantarabdumdu, Tirson Molam, the Tajan, Tamjala, Malim, Mundam, Jervarasho, Tetaramali, the king, also come, Jitan, Chitil, Simchan, and Pamperje. Jalva Jim Kurov Zanja Gava Tir Palamo Tamba Kantam Zilirti Nawam Taib Jalvim on Samantha Longtan Bayam Daki Tiratovsho Tiranav Daki Longtan Ratavnim Tilpa Mambushi Wam Tabjai Bloit of Jeep Shotjan of Zayan Simjan of La Bamba Mambuja Zambu Shurbu Mulam Dumbaya Giwa Chonzal of Dakin Chafsaba Penam Dova Mulam Giwa Nam Kalachi Chiki Tanjalam Jervarisho Kayam Zambu Shurban the Mobim Sunam and Hai Tamba Kantuti Joa de Malachavar Shawanam or the Hogamir Panera Bato Parasho Mulam Jalpun the Takam Chakver Som Tain Joa can love him Shirijan Jambu Jontrevati, Mazon in the Mamali, Stover Sanjir, Casamamnip, Shalavatam, Chuninum, and Gerabdimba, Shalavada. Game the name of Shalam the Bush and Lavajim, Chataramo, Molam and the Parasho. Talayata, Pansan and Jaya, Agwan Buddha, Zohai, Bami, Turjid and Jam Jib, Telepan, Amravera, Valamba, Karamanto, Lota, Ripper, Quatim, Shim, Jimele, Panso, Jamla, Saravan, David Taylor, Gomb, Shanlavanian, Lazy. Feel a cheater, deeper shindy, love, sorte, tondol me, Salanga Millet, and Javarokim, Zipa, Bam Jova, Sasama, Jarava, Jamzum, Jenny, Jagala Shinch, Kobushi, Patsolam, Militum, Novian, Tagamdor, Tapaya, Shino, and Chunks of Jams of Shalham, Deepunium, Director, don't keep Jeeps and Malab, Saravan, Devaka, same and Turji, she's of Tanam Chandim, that peep, short Jim, Corlo, Chavin. Tam xia sang mai tam đỡ tam thế răng tơ chống chữ chữ chào nè chào với thiệt chết là dân một thật đơn tam trong jam dương niệm thiệp tu ở miền đất hắc sâm đêm bờ đêm mần đốt nam chấp game san ba ra chơi chơi